Let's get started. Number 5. The Great Brain Myth. Imagine waking up, stretching and thinking, wow, can't wait to use my extremely limited 10% brain capacity today. And then your actual brain, the one that handles your memories, emotions, secrets, and that oddly specific craving for garlic bread, just sighs. Because you don't use 10% of your brain, you use all of it. Yes, even the parts that only activate when you're panicking about a text you forgot to send 3 days ago. This myth probably survives because it makes you feel like a superhero who just hasn't discovered their powers yet. Like any second now, a switch will flip and suddenly you're telekinetic, fluent in 7 languages and able to fold a fitted sheet. But the truth is less comic book cool and more biology class obvious. Your brain is expensive real estate. Evolution doesn't keep around 90% of unused neurons just for ambience. Every part does something, even if that something is reminding you of embarrassing moments from 2014 at 2 a.m. Neurologists can literally see your whole brain buzzing along like a stressed-out IT department. Even when you think you're doing nothing, your default mode network is basically running laps, replaying memories, scanning the environment, and wondering if you left the stove on. So, no, you're not secretly a dormant psychic. You're just a person with a fully operational, occasionally chaotic, always online brain, which, honestly, is already way too much power. Number 4. Goldfish memory lies. Picture this. You're staring at your goldfish, and for the 15th time today, it swims past the same plastic castle like it's discovering Atlantis. And you think, wow, must be nice to forget everything every 3 seconds. Except your goldfish is silently judging you, because it actually remembers things for months. Meanwhile, you can't remember why you walked into the kitchen. The whole 3-second memory idea stuck around because humans love feeling superior, especially to tiny orange animals doing underwater cardio. But goldfish are basically underwater librarians. They can recognize faces, remember feeding schedules, and even learn simple tricks. Yes, tricks. A goldfish could technically outsmart you before your first cup of coffee. Psychologists have tested this by training goldfish to find food using color cues and mazes. They don't forget instantly. They actually retain information better than many people retain their passwords. Your fish knows its routine, its environment, and definitely knows when you've switched it to generic fish flakes. But the funniest part? This myth says more about human insecurity than goldfish ability. It's comforting to believe some creature out there has worse recall than you do. Yet the truth is, goldfish remember your face while you're still trying to remember where you parked. So the next time your fish circles the tank, don't assume it's confused. It probably just knows something you don't. Number 3. The 5 senses. Fib. Imagine you're sitting outside sipping your drink when suddenly someone says, humans only have 5 senses, and your entire nervous system, which is currently juggling balance, temperature, hunger, pain, time perception, and that weird 6th sense that tells you someone opened your snack drawer, just collectively rolls its eyes. The 5 senses thing has been passed down like a family recipe nobody questions. Aristotle said it once, and humans basically went, sounds good, lock it in forever. But your body is a full sensory circus, more than a dozen ways your brain collects information without your permission. You don't just see, hear, smell, touch, and taste. You also sense movement, acceleration, blood pressure, thirst, proprioception. That's the fancy term for knowing where your limbs are so you don't slap yourself in the face. And even the passage of time, sort of. Though, to be fair, your sense of time is about as reliable as a Wi-Fi connection during a storm. If you've ever stood up too fast and suddenly watched your vision fade like your life is buffering, that's your baroreceptors screaming, sit down, sit down. If you've ever walked through your house at night without turning on the lights and didn't crash into a wall, That's proprioception doing peak performance work. And if you've ever reached for your phone before it buzzed, well, okay, that might just be unhealthy attachment. So no, you don't just have 5 senses. You're basically a walking, talking data collection robot with a chaotic software update schedule. Number 2. The blood is blue. Blunder. You've probably heard someone confidently say, well, actually, your blood is blue until it hits the air. And in that moment, every biology teacher within a 10-mile radius feels a disturbance in the force. Because your blood? It has never been blue, not once, not even on Mondays. This myth hangs around because veins look blue under your skin, and humans love jumping to conclusions, especially ones involving dramatic color changes, because it makes our bodies sound like mood rings. But the real reason your veins look blue is basically a trick of light, skin, and the fact that your brain is lazy and loves shortcuts. When light hits your skin, different wavelengths scatter, and the blue ones bounce back to your eyeballs more efficiently. Your body is not a color-changing pen, no matter how fun that would be. Inside those veins, your blood is always some shade of red, dark red, when it's carrying less oxygen, bright red when it's freshly oxygenated and ready to party. The color doesn't magically swap the moment it touches the air. It's already red before it even leaves your body. If your blood were blue inside you, medical textbooks would look like Avatar fanfiction. Yet people still repeat it because it feels like one of those cool secret facts that makes you sound smart at dinner parties. Unfortunately, it just makes your circulatory system sigh in disappointment. So the truth is simple. Your veins are optical illusions. Your blood is always red. And your body is not auditioning for a role in a fantasy novel. Number 1. We only use left brain or right brain. Imagine someone meeting you for the first time and declaring, "Oh, you're definitely right-brained," as if your skull is a duplex apartment where one half pays rent and the other is on permanent vacation. This myth spread because people love personality labels. Zodiac signs weren't enough. Apparently so, now we're assigning vibes to brain hemispheres like they're Hogwarts houses. The idea goes like this. Left brain equals logical, organized, probably color codes their sock drawer. Right brain equals creative, emotional, definitely owns at least one journal with nothing written in it. But real neuroscience does not care about your aesthetic. Both sides of your brain work together constantly, even during incredibly stupid moments like Googling, "Why does my eye twitch at 2 a.m.? There's no hemisphere that checks out just because you're writing poetry or doing taxes. Sure, some functions lean more heavily on one side, language often leans left. Spatial tasks lean right, but they're still cooperating like two exhausted co-workers trying to get through a group project neither of them wanted. Creativity isn't trapped in one hemisphere. Logic doesn't live in the other. Your brain is basically one big neural group chat where everyone talks at the same time. But the myth stays alive because it's comforting to believe your personality can be explained by a simple switch. Left for spreadsheets, right for sunsets. Sorry, you're much more complicated than that. Blame your entire brain equally. That's it for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.